Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Have you
letting us.
started?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
recording.
Hello, everyone. So today we are beginning the session on a very, very special day, which is an anniversary to scraping down 377 judgment. And I'm your host, Arnab Nandi, member of Anchor. So Anchor is Bits Pilani's sexuality and gender cell. And so today we have our lovely guest, which is Samyukta from Goa campus and her mom, Rama auntie. And we have Sri Lakshmi and her mom. And you all look so adorable right now. And I was so excited to host this event because it's so wonderful to see parents coming and supporting their child, and it's heart melting. And like and it inspires other people to, I mean, it inspired me when I see people and parents supporting their child in their journey and accepting them the way they are. So let's start today's session with, on this day, 377. So 377 was a law in which criminalizes people, whoever is from the LGBT community. How they criminalize it? They criminalize it because the law said any sexual intercourse which is non-penal and vaginal is a criminal offense. So that puts everyone, actually, it puts not only just the LGBT people, it puts everyone in a space where we can be criminalized. And this law was not uh, uh, it was the impact of colonization. So it was about time that we scraped down this law. And I still remember the day when I was traveling back home on 6th of September 2018 for my dental appointment. But my mom was stuck to the TV and glued to the TV and excited and tensed. I didn't even know why she was so excited or tensed, because I came out to them a few months ago, but they were still in the process of accepting and understanding all of these in their own way. So and I received a text from my mom in my WhatsApp, हो गया है, निकल गया law. And so it was quite nice how my mother reacted to it. So let's go back on that day, 6th September 2018. So Ramanti, what was your mood that day? I mean, or was it too early? Did did she already came out to you before that? So I just want to know what was going through you, going going along with you on that day.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, Samyu, I knew about well long before 2018 the ruling, and so on that day, actually, I wasn't honestly aware that there was going to be a ruling. I wasn't following it in any way, but Samyu's sister was, older sister. So, as I mentioned, I think I knew about Samyu's preference maybe almost like 2008, about 2 years or 3 years even before that. So I was, as you correctly said, in the process of accepting it. I mean, mentally I had accepted it, but somehow it has to get absorbed into your, psyche as something very, very normal and natural. That process was happening. Like logically, you know that you have to take it, you have to accept it. However, the conditioning of years and years of your life on this earth has to slowly change. So that was happening over a period of time, and I think only time can, really uh, undergo that. You need the time to undergo that process. So to answer your question, on that day, honestly, there was nothing. I wasn't really sitting waiting for any news on the TV. But I do remember that Samyu's older sister, she was excited and she posted as soon as it came out. She posted on WhatsApp. So then I realized and I immediately acknowledged it, and then and then we kind of shared it with a few other people who we thought would be interested, and then she also put it on Facebook. Then I also responded. So that was really what happened on that particular day
How sweet.
with Samyu.
How sweet. And you rightly said ki yes, it is years of conditioning. And to the audience listening, so coming out is not just you come out to your parents and done. That's it. Even you have to support them also in their journey to understand, because coming out is a two-way process. You come out and then your family members come out along with you to support you. So, and you have, imagine that you took so much time to come out and to realize who you are, that you felt the liberation. So it give your family members the time, because your family members do love you, but because of this conditioning, as Ramanti said, it impacts and it slows the process. But you have to have faith, because yeah, a parent love their child with no conditions applied. So thank you Ramanti for sharing. So I would like to go, like you mentioned that Samyukta came out to you 2 years before the ruling. So Samyukta, a question to you, why did you and when did you decide to come out to your mom or dad, and so what made you came out to your parents?
So for me, I didn't really come out to my mom. It was more like came out to my sister a longish time ago, like really long, like when I was 18 or something like that. But to my parents, I never really like, oh, today I will tell them something. I think it was just evident somehow, and somehow my mom had a sixth sense about it. So she asked me about it, and then I just said yes. So basically, that was my coming out. There was not really much decision. And then after that moment, there was like some discussion about it, some talking about it. Then over the years, then I introduced my partner to my mom. So basically, it was not one moment. It was just over the years.
Collective on and on, थोड़ा 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 करके, because एक बार में bombard नहीं करना.
Like I said,
Was
I
that
didn't
the aim?
not tell anything. It was just like, oh, some questions were asked, and then I said yes, yes. And then after some time, basically, I said ki obviously the answer to my questions was yes, I am gay, and there's not going to be any boys. So, so that's the thing. Then I came up with a girlfriend one day. That's it.
Okay, so that was lovely. So Shri, same question to you. So when did you came out to your mother, and why did you decide to come out?
Okay, so I think like just sometime before the 2018 judgment is when I thought that I was, I'm not straight, I'm bi. And at that time I was not sure of it either. So I was in that curious phase that, I'm not sure about it. I mean, what if it is? So I went to my mom and I told her, what if I am like, what if I'm not straight? How would you feel about that? And she was like, it's your life, it's okay, it's either way, it's fine by me types. And I think that is what gave me the support to, okay, fine, it's okay if I am, if it's okay if I'm from the community, she won't mind, at least she'll be there. And yeah, that was basically my coming out. Like, I involved her since day one, that I was confused ki, mom, I might be, I don't know. So yeah, I think that is what helped me a lot.
How sweet, how sweet. Like you took your mom through your coming out journey and realized it. That's so sweet. So auntie, how was like what was going on with you when you were helping her to figure out who she is? So just we want to hear you how you handle the situation, like what was going on in your head when all these things was happening?
Actually, she just told she has a doubt. She was not sure. So I also thought let her take her own time. And I was there to support her.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet. So, how about Abhi? How about your extended family, relatives, and your neighbors, society members? Uh, how did you handle their reactions? Because we all know that we cannot expect everybody in our neighbors or families and family friends to be supportive about and aware about it, or whatever you call it. They might have some reservations about these things. So how did you handle that situations in which the society members and neighbors, when they were coming, when they were not so supportive of the decision, and not so supportive about who she is? I mean, so what was your reaction to them, and what did you say to them? How did you tackle through these societal problems?
I don't think she had to face that because I don't live around here a lot. So that is not a huge factor in my family. But and talking about extended family, I haven't told a lot of people. My cousins know, and they are pretty supportive. So I don't think anybody has come up and told her that, oh no, your daughter is gay. Like
Oh,
how
that's
are you
good.
allowing that kind of a thing? My cousins and friends are pretty cool with it, and she's cool with it. So that's it,
How
I
sweet,
guess.
how sweet. I wish everybody has cousins and extended family who is like, okay, it's not a big deal. पता रहेगा तो पता चल जाएगा. पता भी हुआ तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
Yeah.
इंसान तो इंसान ही होता है. How sweet, how sweet. Yeah. So Rama aunty, the same question to you. What was the reaction? I mean, did you ever face any homophobic reactions from your neighbors or society members? Because Samyukta is quite vocal about her sexuality. So, uh, so did you face any such reactions which were not so welcoming, and how did you tackle them?
Again, I think Samyu has been out of our house since she passed her 12th standard. She's not lived with us, for more than a few months at a time. So it's never happened that I've needed to tell anybody, the neighbors or the extended society. So the answer is the same as Sri Lakshmi. Essentially, if they come to know, it's okay. I don't really care. If they know and they are horrified or they object, it doesn't matter. I mean, then I'm not interested in knowing such people anyway. So that's really my this thing. And if they accept it and they're cool with it, yeah, then those are the kind of people I really want to know. So that's the neighbors and societies. Coming to family, I myself have not told anybody because I prefer to leave the decision to Samyu. So whoever she wants to tell. And this, I think I also asked her before. I mean, some there was some curiosity. People say things like "Abhi badi didi ki shadi ho gayi, iski kab hogi" and all that stuff like that. And then there are people who go on asking ki kab hogi, kab hogi. So finally, I told her that, can I say something? But Samyu always says it's okay. I will tell them whatever needs to be told. So I think whoever knows from the family is the information has come directly from her and not from me, because I feel that it's her decision to tell and not mine. So that's really what has happened. So I think Samyu will be in a better position to tell you who knows and who doesn't know. I know my immediate family, like my husband, my daughter, my son-in-law, and I think my sister-in-law, maybe my brother. But other than that, I don't know who else Samyu has revealed the information to. So she will be probably in a better position to answer.
So sweet. So, I mean, when you are going through the process of trying to remove your conditioning, as you were mentioning, so what was your reference point? Like, of course, did you, so in that, to understand you need help to understand few things, right? You read up online or something. So it so happens that you open up to a a family friend to yours. So I thought in that way, maybe you shared. But I really liked what you said, ki it's completely Samyukta's choice, whom she wants to disclose her sexuality and whatnot. And this is a very important point to all of our audience, is that whenever a friend or someone is coming out to you, it doesn't give you the right to use that information and spread it on their behalf, because coming out and all, everything is very personal. The person chose to come out to you because he respected you. He told you something very honest about themselves. So give that respect. Don't betray the trust of your friends, because it's very, very personal when you come out. And to be honest, if it's okay, the friend is not homophobic, but we have faced so much rejections and etc. If we want to see the reaction on their face when we say to them. And of course, would you like to have a reaction mujhe pata tha, or would you like to have a reaction which is very positive, which will more uplift you even further? So please don't deny your friends that opportunity. It's completely their choice to come out. So thank you for bringing this point out, Ramanti, that it's completely Samyukta's choice to whom she wants to disclose and about herself. So uh, so now, as you mentioned, that during the when the law came, you got to know it from your elder daughter, and that's how you posted, you shared with her, and and so did the law that I mean, were you aware that the law is criminalizing your daughter, and because of the law now being struck down, did it boost your confidence, or did it catalyst your process of accepting her? And I mean, not accepting her, understanding more and more about it. Did it boost your confidence somehow when the law was scraped down?
So in my mind, that law should not have ever been there. Okay, so as you said, it was a result of colonization or whatever, some Victorian times, some weird ancient laws. A lot of our laws in our country are based on some very archaic and outdated principles. So that law shouldn't have been there. So honestly, I wasn't paying much attention to the law. If I had been, then maybe I would have realized that it criminalizes some things that should not be criminalized. So when I did find out that finally the sense had come and they had scrapped the law, it was a relief. However, it had to happen. We could not have progressed as a country without this law continuing in this law in its in that current shape and form that it was. So I had the confidence that somewhere along the way it would happen, because there were so many people fighting for it over so many years of time in so many courts. So it had to happen, and it did happen. So it just reaffirmed my that belief that this is not something that would keep on going on for a long period of time. Our country is fairly young in terms of from a point of view of when we gained independence. Like if you look at
Independence.
Western countries, they've probably gone ahead of us in acceptance and all these legal terms. So our country will take a little more time, but I honestly believe that these things will improve, and things will get better and better.
Sorry,
Thank you. Yes.
can I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
something, uh, on that point, saying that, yeah, it's kind of, the law didn't make sense, sure. And yeah, it was just a matter of time before it got struck down. But honestly, it had been tried so many times before. It was decriminalized in 2003 or something like that. Then
Right.
it was decriminalized in 2013. And then since then, there had been, and I had been following it vaguely. So there had been a lot of attempts to like bring it down. There were a lot of other priorities obviously faced by our country. And so there was a lot of talk about it, and then when it finally happened, like there was this news saying that yeah, this judgment might happen. I was not very hopeful, to be honest, because it had happened so many times before. And then it is not, I think, a given that the law, certain progressive laws will be passed, because as the two lawyers were saying, what her last name? Sorry. Guruswamy and Arundhati Kajju, like, you can gain freedom, you can lose freedom. It just, you have to keep fighting for it as a country. So you should not be like, yeah, this is inevitable and yes, it would happen. Like, somebody is there fighting for it, making it happen. Right? So you need to make sure that you keep that fire on. Otherwise, you would regress. Like, you can see it's happening in the US to some extent. And it will happen in India if nobody keeps the fire on.
Thank you, Samyukta. That was brilliant input to this conversation today. So I'll go back to Sri Lakshmi and her mom. The same question to you guys. What did the law? Were you aware about the law? And when it was removed, did it speed up your questioning phase? And did it impact you? Shri, you also can, like, you both can answer together because you both were in a similar journey.
Yeah, we were.
Actually, I was not aware of that law. And even if I'm aware if the law is there or not, my acceptance will remain the same. Attitude towards her will be the same. It doesn't depend upon the law.
Yeah, I think because at the age I was when the law was coming out, or when I was in, particularly about my own identity, I think the law played a role because it gives you the confidence that, okay, even if I say it to somebody now, they can't legally prosecute me for that. That is what you're doing is wrong. So yeah, I think it did play a somewhat of a role, but it not exactly like she said, it wouldn't have changed who I am, and it wouldn't have changed the end point that I reached. But sure, it does make a lot of difference, and it gives you a lot more confidence than, if you compare it to the time before it became a law. So yeah. Nandi, you're muted.
So sorry, I was mute. So as you said, yes, the law impacts because now you have a backing to our claims that this is not a criminal offense. Because earlier, whenever we used to speak about LGBT and or create this awareness, we were shut down because the law was, India still was under the law which was criminalizing us. So we were losing the credibility because we were branded as criminals, and who would listen to a criminal if the law is like that? So that's why for more authentic, I wouldn't say we were not authentic, as she's mom said ki your acceptance doesn't change with the law, but see, what we are trying to achieve, we all would agree with this point, is that what we are looking for is a behavioral change. Laws can change whatnot, but what we are looking for is a behavioral change. And for that this law is a booster. When scripting down, this law is a booster. And so coming back to the point, I mean, Shri, I heard that you said ki, I don't know, at that age I was in, right? So it just comes to my mind. What do you think is like, there are a lot of debates going on. There are parents who claim that, a child should not be introduced to LGBT content when he's young, or something like that. We do hear these kind of debates, right? So what is this thing? Would you like to share your viewpoints on this? Anyone on the call? Like, what is the right age, do you feel? And does this talk even make sense, the right age of coming out and sensitization from child? Some oppose it, some say it's okay. So I just want to hear more inputs on this point. Anyone can share.
I'll just start that I mentioned it because I don't think there's an age for it. Everybody knows it at some point. Even I know, like when I look back at things, I know that somewhere I should have doubted it way earlier that that was the case. But one of the main points that you don't realize is because you don't have an education towards it. You're not aware of it. I became aware of it later in my life when I was 19, 20, left the house and started interacting with people. That is when you realize that okay, all of these things exist, and there's a like that is when the possibility clicks that okay, what you're feeling all that time is not a random thing or something like that. It has actual validity. So the age debate is pretty it's not a it doesn't have a base, and I think my mom's school is doing things. Yeah.
Actually, in our school, we have a sensitization program. Once
Sweet.
we had it for teachers, we had called 2 members of this community and they were sharing their experiences. One is actually married and the other one has a job, and her family has accepted her. She's living with her family only. And we were planning to do sensitization with children, students also. But only once it happened that one seminar was there with them. And we are also planning to sensitize students about it.
It's very, very beautiful to hear that children are going through gender sensitization workshops right now, because see, law is changed, but who is executing it? Who is preaching the content? The government should be doing that. The syllabus should change, should include these things. And so I'm so glad that schools are taking steps on their own to do this, because somewhere or other we had to start, because education solves most of it, not everything, but education does helps a lot. So Ramanti, you would like to share anything on this?
So there are two extremes to this, right? On one extreme, you have countries like Sweden, where I was reading an article where they have kindergarten kids who are kind of trained to be gender neutral. Okay, from that age, they say that, I don't know how much validity the article had, but it was saying that you start exploring your gender, or, you don't identify yourself as a male or female or neutral or whatever it is. So that's one extreme. And, I think that kind of boggles even my mind. And of course, the other extreme is those countries who are, very, very conservative. I don't even want to name them, but they won't accept anything. So I think we have to, there should be a balanced, start to this whole thing. And I feel everything should be done in a more organic way. Like how a child, even comes to realize or understand their sexuality. That is step one. That itself varies from child to child, from age to age. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is one. Some of them, they get it very young. Some of them, they don't mature mentally. I'm not talking about physical. So that is one thing. And that is organic. Nobody really kind of tells you to, explore or understand what it is. Same thing should happen, I think, in this case also. However, the sensitization should be there, that for children who are confused, who don't understand why they are not feeling what their peers feel, like obviously, you have a girlfriend a friend who's a girl who has a lot of boyfriends, but you don't feel an inclination. They should be given the support, and they should be given the exposure that there are other things other than having being heterosexual. So that is one thing. But at what age, I don't know. Individually, if as a parent, I would say let your child explore and understand or come to the realization on their own. But as an institution in schools or in colleges, this should form part of the sensitization for sure. And that should be later. I mean, post puberty age is where I would honestly feel, because below that, kids are more interested in playing and other things. I'm not sure whether they're really interested in any of these other things.
You're still mute, Arnab.
I feel that it won't be like an over information when it comes to sharing few things. At least a very basic gender sensitization workshops, even regarding the fact that they have gained that maturity or have that sexual awakening, which we say, like we have the sexual awakenings, and then we go on the journey of exploring, right? So I don't think even if we educate them before it, at least the basic thing that there doesn't exist just male female, there exist many other things like normalized homosexuality. Like I saw a video in which nursery kids were a drag queen comes to the nursery kid and talking to people, talking to these kids, and the beautiful conversation in that was the main point over to do that was there exists some children who are visibly effeminate, who are visibly a little, and they get bullied because of that, right? So that's why it's so important. These kids who are not, who doesn't identify as some, who doesn't have a visible thing or nothing, at least they treat their friends so that that child is not bullied. So this was, so my point is it should be done as soon as possible, because we don't know, we can what do you call that, it's prevention is better than cure. That's what I would like to say. And I think we are running out of time, so let me check how much time we have left.
So Arnav, I can just suggest one thing. If
Yes.
you want to continue with this discussion, we can. Oh, what happened? We close.
Okay.
Okay.
We will have to rejoin
Yeah.
this. So, are we good with rejoining, or should we wind up in 5 minutes?
I'm okay with rejoining.
I'm okay with that.
Amma?
Okay, cool. So, so let's rejoin again so that we have many more time, because it's quite interesting. I'm so excited to listen to more and more.
But we probably have to wait until this kicks us out, because if we rejoin now, it's still going to have 5 minutes left.
Okay, so let it kick us out and then we'll rejoin. We have anyway saved it, right? So awesome. So let's move to this. We were talking about we're talking about the law and like teaching, right? So yeah, so let's, so how, what do you think, we were talking about bullying also. So what do you think we as an inclusive society should be doing in terms of like, let's talk about this gender neutral parenting, right? Because I mean, because we are actually conditioned, like कि लड़का हुआ है तो चलो गुड़िया नहीं लाना है, ये लाना है, कार्स लाएंगे, GI जो लाएंगे, लड़की है तो चलो गुड़िया लाएंगे. So but there exists some child who doesn't want to play with dolls and they are boy, right? They grow. So what do you think should be the right way to as a parent, what should be the gender neutral way of parenting?
I'll probably ask someone.
Samita, you want to go?
Oh, I mean, I'm not a parent, but sure. If I
Yeah. Okay, Ramanti.
Yeah, so my answer to that is, don't be consciously gender neutral or pro feminine or pro masculine. You have to be completely comfortable in whatever your child is comfortable in playing with. If you give, if it's a girl and you give her a doll and she says, I don't want a doll, and throws it out, give her something else that she likes. Same thing with a guy, right? You give him a car and he says, I don't want a car, I want to play with dolls, I want to change the dresses. Let him do that. So basically the point is that don't try to force anything on the child, whether whether it's one way or the other. Whatever they are comfortable with, whatever they are happy with playing or doing, you have to basically reinforce that. That's really what my point is. And I'm not even thinking about gender neutrality here. I'm not thinking of gender in this way or that way, whether it's masculine or feminine or neutral or transgender. I'm not thinking of it in any way. I'm just thinking about, what the child is happy doing. I think just support them in that. That's really, and then eventually it will happen that, if they are, if it's a man, if it's a boy who's inclined to female, whatever traditional, see, nothing is, it's all what has come down from centuries, right? Women have been playing a certain role and men have been playing a certain role. Now slowly there's an overlap in those two roles. Who knows of 50 years from now whether you'll be able to clearly define what is a man's role and what is a woman's role and what do they play with and what are their careers going to be and so on. So that, keeping that whole thing in mind, I think just support your child in whatever they like to do and whatever.
Yeah, and
Thank you. Thank you.
adding to that a bit, that's a good point, Amma. And like, who decided that this thing is masculine, this thing is feminine? Why is that? Why is this rule there?
Exactly. Yes.
It has been a societal rule, but why if somebody doesn't want to follow that, like, why does it mean if I am a girl and I like to play with cars or whatever, or I like engineering or something like that, why does that mean I'm masculine? Maybe women like engineering. Maybe if you're a guy and you like dolls, but you're a guy who likes dolls, why should that define your gender? Or you don't feel like you're a guy and you like dolls. Okay, cool, good for you. Like, why is that such a hard thing to accept?
I mean, Samyukta, thank you. This is absolutely brilliant. Because yes, this question itself has had the problem, which is associations. Who meant that who said that I'm saying the right thing? Who told me that okay, लड़के लोग कार से खेलते, right? Who told me that? That's brilliant point. And exactly, and to add to this point, Samyukta, I've been saying this to many people also. Like everybody has masculinity and femininity in them, right? And कितना भी percent का होगा. So it's not that I'm a boy. So if I have 50% more than 50% of femininity, then I'm gay. It's not like that. It's completely not like that. So and
that doesn't mean you're a girl.
yeah. So it's and these percentage or whatever it is, neither we have to show it or do. All we have to do is embrace it, and the others around us to accept us the way we have embraced it, right? And that's what Ramanti, you said, like, okay, I choose to play with this, I'll play with this. And that is what a true acceptance is. Like, you're accepting your child, whatever he, she, or they want to do, and forgetting all the labels of neutral, gender, masculinity, and etc. That's really, really very